realized that a lot of the VAs out there aren't on the level that people want them to be. High levelers want those architects, those people they can say, hey, go do this. And they know that that person can go and do it and not ask a million jillion questions, right? Not that asking questions is bad, but
no, it's good. Otherwise,
yeah,
everybody wastes time. Yeah.
And that they need that architect, but most of the people that are able to help are VAs, which is okay because people need VAs as well. And we wanted to create a space to actually mold people into builders and architects.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by Melissa and Stephanie Blair of Cultivating Sales, which is a high-level white label with over 100 clients coming up on 7 figures who are now also training high-level builders. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 today.
Yeah, this is going to be great. You know, you guys, we were talking before we hit record, are one of the most familiar faces. You guys have been high-level customers, high levelers since I feel like the very beginning, very involved in the community. Yeah, it's great. I feel like this episode is a long time in the making. So welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Very excited about it.
So Melissa, you started the company and you actually come from a different path, right? You were not running a full service agency coming in. You were actually already in SaaS mode before SaaS mode even existed, right?
I was, before SaaS was cool. Yeah.
How did you get there?
Well, I owned a sales training company. I'm actually back when I was Stephanie's age. Sales training, it was called Integrity Selling. And I did that for 11 years until I sold it. I had 2 little ones, hadn't had her yet. But my daycare provider said, you're our #1 customer again this year. And I started calling. You know, it was like, that's not why I became a mom. Everybody's journey's different. I was lucky. I was able to sell it, stay home for 8 years, had this incredible person, which God
along with two other incredible
2 others also.
Well. I'm sure they're great as well, but we don't know them, so
they don't know what we do. They just my family's always said, well, you must have had a good day. You just laughed all day and had a great time. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what we do. Yeah. And after she got into school, I got into the robotics and factory automation industry. And I actually loved it. My job was to go out and work with their distributors and help them set up their sales and marketing systems. So of course I would come in and say, okay, you got to buy Calendly, you got to buy MailChimp, you got to buy this, you got to buy that. And they would look at me like, well, first of all, I'm a woman coming into a male industry, which most of the time was not an issue. But then I'm coming in with all this craziness, this crazy talk. And we get them all set up. And of course, I'm the only one that knows how to work the monster. I built the monster. I know how to work the monster. And
that's what she says about me too.
Yeah. So it just was very frustrating. And if they don't take ownership, it doesn't work as well. And I just was frustrated. I was with that company for 12 years. I absolutely loved it. I had an incredible boss. He was like, Melissa, you just go do what you do. You know, you're fine. But when I hit 55, I thought, okay, I'm building this guy's equity. What am I going to have? You know, we've saved for our retirement, but nobody's ever saved enough for the retirement. You're young. You probably, you know, you don't realize how fast it goes. So at 55, I said to my boss, I'm leaving to start my own company. He's like, what you going to do? And I'm like, I think I'm going to build mobile apps, because we were working on a mobile app project for our distributors and all that. And I think that would be great. Well, then Apple and Google made these big changes. And I'm like, well, why am I building a business based off big companies making decisions that affect little people? Mm-hmm. And so then I thought, well, my big passion is automation, because even factory automation, robotic, you know, all that. And I started with Visita. You know Visita, because they are a company out of Israel, if I remember correctly. And I white labeled their version, Yellow Pages.
You
is
ran
their
the yellow
biggest
pages.
customer.
Yeah.
They white label Visita. The problem was they didn't treat their little white label people very well. Changes, you couldn't get anything. You couldn't communicate with anybody. Nobody cared. They didn't do automation. So I would get these clients, I would get like new business owners, I'd get them up to here and they go, okay, Melissa, now if this happens, I want all these things to happen. I'm like, yeah, no, we don't do that. And then I'm like, well, maybe you want to graduate to like an Infusionsoft or an Active Campaign or whatever, but then they were out of my world. And then through networking, somebody somehow told me about Sean. And you guys had just launched, it was the CRM, and you guys had just launched the scheduler piece.
Okay.
Right? So there was the big, we're doing the, so I had connected with Sean and he sent me his Calendly link. I don't know if you know this story. And
No,
I'm
I've
like,
never heard this.
if you guys have, and he goes, no, Sean, he goes, Melissa, I just have had no time to even set up my own link. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that. And then I met him. And I don't know anybody who doesn't love Sean. I mean, he's amazing. And matter of fact, there's a joke. I don't know if you remember this stuff. So when she first started,
I was about to bring this up actually.
I wonder if it's the same thing. So yeah, probably, because this is the way our brains work. Somebody would ask a obvious question. I won't say stupid because there's no stupid questions. There's so much to learn with all this, right? But somebody would ask an obvious question and Steph and I would, giggle or whatever. And then I started saying, what would Sean do? What would Sean do? Because that man is a saint. I can't tell you how many
Patience
times
he's has.
I asked stupid questions. He never
Not
made
stupid.
me feel stupid. Yeah. Never made me feel like it was a waste of time. I don't know how he does it. He's got to have cloned himself.
We're pretty lucky. It's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find a CEO who still handles so many basic intro noob questions per day, and he does it, enthusiastically.
He's amazing. So we try to always have that same level of patience, because it made a huge difference for me. Because as you know, we didn't have you making videos. We didn't have anything when we started, nothing. So a lot of us high levelers would kind of meet up and help each other. And then the Facebook group, and we were all just very willing to help each other and learn. And I didn't even have $500, but I paid $500 to have one of the guys teach me what he knew. It was the wild, wild west back then. And I was thinking about this right before, that in many ways, maybe that was a good thing, because you never learn anything like you learn when you struggle. When you struggle to figure it out, you learn it. Now so many resources. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you'll be damned if you make that mistake again, or take that long to figure something out again, or you'll remember it a lot more.
Well, SaaS mode, it's funny because I just did a webinar on SaaS mode, and you guys were pre-SaaS mode, and back then, like, HighLevel's been white label from the beginning. But in 2020, we were kind of like looking internally at all the stats, saying, well, why aren't like the best high level agencies that are killing it are the ones that are really running with the white label, but they were like the small percentage. And we're like, well, why isn't everybody leveraging the white label? And when we thought about it, it was like, you had to use the API to do most stuff, unless you were doing it all manually, right?
Yeah,
like
I was doing it all manually.
Creating every sub account, manually creating every user, manually setting all the permissions, manually creating passwords. Like, it was a lot of work, and and that's what led to SaaS mode. But now people have it easy, right? Like back then, there was a lot going on.
Even me, like, I'm grateful. I came in March of 2020, and so like a lot of that stuff was already in place. So I'm grateful she did the heavy lifting for a lot of it.
The grunt work and everything.
How did that come to be? Because I remember when Steph started popping up on the town halls.
Yeah.
Always with great questions. And it was like, whoa, how lucky you are to have, a family member involved in the business who seems to love it as much as you do.
Oh, yeah. And what's really fun is I'm one of those people, I'm sure a lot of owners are, where, well, nobody can do it better than me. She came on board within 3 weeks. She had her own Zoom account because it was like, huh, you're better than me. How did you do that? You don't even, at the time she was 19 years old. I'm like,
It must have been like dad's genes or something. I don't know.
I don't know. So tell me your stuff.
Yeah. So March of 2020, we all know COVID hit. It happened to everybody. Everyone's lives changed. And for me particularly, the dorms shut down at the time. I was going to Winona State for business, really passionate about it, did a lot of things. And we got kicked out. So I go home and putzing around for a week. And it was right after spring break as well. So I had already had 2 weeks off. And she goes, well, with the pandemic and stuff, obviously you're not going back to school right now. Do you want some work to do and some busy work, and I'll give you a few bucks for it? And I was like, sure, got nothing else to do. I'm not leaving the house. And so I did that. And then I actually realized I was really good at it and I liked it a lot. And I've always been I like math a lot, and not crazy good at it, but I like it because I like the formulas. A plus B equals C, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, all of this stuff. And that's how my brain works with this is, okay, funnel plus workflow equals appointment. Calendar plus funnel plus workflow equals an appointment. That's just how my brain works. So the formulas, the automation, it just with the same thing every time, it just worked for me. And then, like she said, I got a Zoom account. I started helping people right away, started building stuff out for people. And then around August, I start getting, hey, are you going to go back to school in the fall? And I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about it. And
I had to keep my mouth shut because I wanted to keep her so bad.
Yeah. And I had been thinking about it for a while, and I realized, well, why spend a crap ton of money to get a job that I can do right now that I like and I enjoy, and I have a boss that I can talk to and be open with and honest with. And I think that's the piece that made it worth it, is how well her and I get along. And we always have. We've been best friends since I was a kid. She's always been my person.
That's because you were an easy kid.
Yeah.
And
And
I never like to get in trouble, so
right.
easy.
And that carries because I don't like to screw up things for people. So I try my absolute hardest to learn as fast as I can. And, so over the last, 2 years-ish, almost 2 years, I got thrown into it and had to figure it out. She was making appointments for me and I was like, okay, I'll show up and, come up with something. And I just loved it. And so now I'm doing, open office hours. I built out the certification that we're talking about today. I help build projects. I help teach people. I get on meetings to teach with people, webinars, all that stuff. And I just enjoy it because the moment that it clicks, and I'm sure, Chase, you get this too with making the videos and stuff and the town halls. The moment you see someone's eyes, it click in the back of their head, you're like, yes, I did it.
Yeah.
And it's so important. And that can be the one piece that gets them to their next goal that year or that month or whatever it may be, whatever that goal is for them. And it gets them one step closer. And it's always just really, really exciting for me to see that happen for people.
And the funny thing is, you've been wanting to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She used to come home from school and make us sit and go through school with her every day. I mean, she was the teacher. She stood on the fireplace mantle or whatever.
Like I said, I liked math.
And so it's funny that all the way, circle around, and now she's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
That was my degree. I came out of college with a degree in secondary education. I used to teach English before in a previous lifetime. And now I get to teach, but I teach adults, right? And like you said, it's super rewarding. But you must have the operator gene, Steph, because I remember as a non-developer, I always thought, wow, it would be so cool to be able to just code things and make things work the way you want.
That's my next project, I think, is learning that.
But when you start building workflows and automations in HighLevel, it feels like
feels like.
to me the satisfaction a developer must get,
Yeah.
you know, but it's like, oh, this is great. Like if I just apply logic, like, well, if this happens, I want this
Right.
to happen. It worked. And you're just like,
Yeah.
whoa.
We always talk about workflows and triggers previously as if this, then that. It's a
Yeah,
science
exactly.
experiment. If I put a Mentos in a bottle of Coke, then it's going to blow up. If someone signs up for my webinar, then send them a confirmation email. It's the same, again, formula.
Exactly.
Give them the formula
Exactly.
and go with it.
Well, a lot of people, you know, who don't think that way really struggle when they come in. Like I remember I used to do like daily demos and stuff and
Mhm.
talking with people that had just signed up and be like, well, does it do this? Does it do that? And my answer was always, it can if you tell it to, but like you need to go tell it whatever you want to happen. And that was just like, what?
I got a question like 2 days ago on our community. So if I put the custom field, it'll tag them their answer, right? If you have a workflow that tells it to do that, then yes.
Exactly,
If not, then you just gotta.
Tell them your oven story. She's
Oh,
so good at analogies. Yeah.
People, I'm sure you guys experience the same thing. People expect signing on for whatever reason that stuff's going to get handed to them. And to a point, that's true. You're going to get templates, you're going to get help. You have all these videos, you have all these resources, the town halls, like we mentioned, all of that. And that's how you get your help. That's how it's always been marketed, right? Same thing with us. But sometimes there's just confusion and different expectations for people. So they come in thinking it's one thing. But what I always said is, okay, if you want dinner and you're hungry, does your oven know to make the lasagna for you? No.
Right.
You have to put the pieces together, put the ingredients, mix it up, make sure all the measurements are right and everything's in the right thing. Or you'll be my brother who put 2 cups of salt into a cookie mix instead of 2 tablespoons, like that type of thing. And it's the same thing. The system doesn't know what you want it to do. You have to tell it what to do, and then it'll do it. And it's great and it's perfect. It's fine. It's smoothness. But like the oven's not going to know what you want for dinner, and the system's not going to know what email you want to send, right?
Good analogy. I like that. So you guys have now gone beyond just running your SaaS into additionally training. So talk to me about this. When did you guys make the decision that, hey, we need to start teaching other people HighLevel as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go for
I'll
it.
take this one.
You deal with.
So initially it had started with Melissa, doing the onboardings with people and, do you have a VA? Do we have VAs? Yeah, we know of VAs. Not all of them know everything. Not all of them are as confident as others, like all of that. And we realized that whether they had a VA, didn't, or we recommended someone that we knew that knew very little about the software, all 3 of those failed. Because if you don't know what the software does, how do you know what to utilize it and make it efficient, right? And we kept losing people because, the system doesn't work. Well, the system doesn't work because you don't know what it does, because you or your VA didn't look into it, or we haven't done our job enough to provide that information enough, right? So because of that, and we saw that need and we wanted people to succeed, and not everybody is like you and us 3 here and other people that are going to watch this, where it makes sense for us. And that's fine, because if everybody was good at the one thing, we would be dead as a humanity, to be honest. Whereas if everybody's good at their different things, right? So we wanted to make it where clients run their businesses and helpers help, whatever that may be to that person. So we realize that there's a very big distinguishment between a VA, a builder, and an architect. And that was one of our other points, is a VA is going to make those small, easy, anyone can log in and check your calendar and send you an email of what you're going to do that day, or go through your emails and sort them. Like anybody can, with a brain and knows how to work a computer, can do that, right? But a builder is going to be someone that knows the platform and can be given, hey, this is what I want. Here's all the images, links, all the stuff for it. Go build it. And they can go build it, right? but an architect is going to be a builder that can strategize. So the builder can be told what to build and they can do it, but an architect can be, hey, so I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Like, here's the road I'm going down. This is what I want to have happen. And that architect can be, okay, so the system does this. This is the most efficient way to do this. We can do this form with this funnel. It'll connect here. And they can actually strategize and help that person become as efficient as possible in the system. And we realized that, and we love all the people in the community that help, like, not saying that, but we realized that a lot of the VAs out there aren't on the level that people want them to be. High levelers want those architects, those people they can say, hey, go do this. And they know that that person can go and do it and not ask a million jillion questions, right? Not that asking questions is bad, but
No, it's good. Otherwise,
yeah,
everybody
right.
wastes time. Yeah.
And that they need that architect, but most of the people that are able to help are VAs, which is okay because people need VAs as well. And we wanted to create a space to actually mold people into builders and architects. And so that's where we came up with the platform certification. And we originally wanted to work with just our clients. And then we realized that that might be doing a disservice to the people that go through it, right? Because they deserve to have as many clients as they see fit. And the high level community, because they have given us so much, like Melissa has said in the beginning, and helping and all of that. And they've given us so many clients and help and ideas and just so many things that we wanted to be able to give back to that community as well. And so that's where we just saw that need for it. And there needs to be that distinguishment between those three people, and all three of those roles are needed. It's just what do you need for your business and your process
at that time? Yeah, because if you just need to hire somebody to, a few hours a week, and it might be a VA, but you may also hire, for a couple hours, an architect that's going to help you,
or an architect to your team, or
It's a very good point, because a lot of business owners don't know what they should want, right? So they're like, here's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
A builder will just go build it. A VA might not know what they're talking about, but an architect could be like, oh, I see what you want, but you know what, you might want to think about it like this, because like this is the way most people do it. And they're like, oh, that makes so much more sense. You're like, cool, we'll go build that,
Because we've had a lot of clients that have VAs that were like, oh, the system's not working. And we're like, oh, well, you could do it this way. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know you had that feature.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was part of it. And it was like, oh, well, it is.
Yeah, it's hard to know what you don't know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys have a certification for all three of those levels, or just the top one?
So there's 3 levels to the certification. It's silver, gold, and diamond. And the point of, this is great. The point of those 3 levels are to cover different difficulties in the software. So when you sign up, you get all 3, like you'll pass each one. There's a quiz for each one. So I'm making sure, like, I'm tracking your progress, making sure, like, if you're not on the right track, I'll reach out to you. We'll have a meeting, all of that. So the first one is the features. What is the website builder? What does it do? How does it work? What is bulk actions? What do they do? How does it work? What is pipelines? How does it work? What did it, like, all of that? What are things? Okay. How to log in, how to make users. So once you know what the website builder and the workflow builder is, well, then in gold, let's learn how to connect them. So now, and I feel like a lot of people jump to connecting without actually knowing what the features do. So we wanted to talk about what the features are, how to connect them, and then diamond is how to best utilize them. And in diamond, I give real life examples that I've been asked to do, and I give them the prompt as if I was the client. So a 3-sentence email of, hey, this is what I want to have happen. Can you make it for me? I need it by Wednesday. Thanks. Right. So no, you don't get a lot of information. And then I asked, okay, what questions would you ask? How would you ask them? How would you utilize different features in the software to work to your best advantage?
That's great.
Right. So like using forms to capture information. If you have a lead magnet project that you do 10 times a week, make a form with all your questions, send it to them, and then you're not having to bug them 100 times to do it for you. Right. So each level is going to increase in difficulty. And then each level also has a quiz, which you answer questions for. I go and I personally grade it. I read everything. I watch all your Loom videos. I personally grade it. We have weekly open office hours for the people to come and ask questions. What else do you think?
He's grading exams.
Yes.
He's a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher now, and I love it because, again, like I said, seeing it makes sense for people. And then
we recorded everything twice because
left sidebar
changed
right after she launched.
like days.
I feel
It was
that
funny.
pain for sure. My team feels all that pain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because you're going through it too, totally. And then at the end, when you pass everything, you get an actual certificate, and you have the opportunity to get added to our CSP client facing and HighLevel facing marketplaces. So it's basically going to be like Amazon for your people, VA Builder, whatever you want in that case. But these people coming out of it, they're going to be builders, right?
Sure.
But as experience helps everybody, because there's no way for me to transfer if I could take a flash drive and
of course.
that would be great, right? But we can't.
Okay.
So yeah. So they come out of it as a builder, and then with more and more experience as time goes on, they'll be more and more of an architect. But they're going to be right on that line between builder and architect when they come out.
And some people don't want to be on the marketplace because we assumed that we would be attracting VAs, OBMs, people that wanted to be builders, which we have. But we also have our own clients going through it. They go, I don't care. I want to go through it because I want to understand it better. I don't want to be on your marketplace. I'm not going to work with other people.
Or they're part of a team that someone
Yeah.
paid for their team to go through it. So obviously they're just working with their people. So they don't need to have clients otherwise. But it's a way for us to show a list of here's all the people, here's what these people like working on, these people like design stuff, these people will work on anything, like stuff like that. And then it's a resource for not only our clients, but your clients as well, to go and find somebody that has been certified through the software, has been personally graded of each of those quizzes, like everything. And that will at least give a really good jumping off point for a lot of people that need help.
Yeah.
So are you guys actively looking for VAs to train, or do you wait until somebody's like, I have a VA, train them, or I need a VA, and then you go get one?
Both.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if somebody has either already been a VA or is looking to become one, and they just want one platform that they can really, really utilize and use, then that's kind of where we're going. What we're going for is anybody that just wants to know our platform and help people. That's the people we want.
I've had two gals that were doing different jobs, and then they wanted to get out of working on corporate. And I said, hey, learn our software. I'll get you all the clients you want. They now have 6-figure VA firms that only work with our clients. And I'm like, okay, this person, I can tell who's going to work best with who, but we want to have more options, because guess what? They're booked, they're busy.
Yeah.
And we play no part in like pricing
we don't,
or packages. Like that's between you paid for this knowledge, like you get to decide what you are worth, because you have a lot of more knowledge than you wouldn't have otherwise, right? Or
and
you
could.
could.
Focus is, unfortunately, everybody thinks they can get their VA for $4 an hour and they're going to know Active Campaign, Infusionsoft, ClickFunnels,
Zapier, CSS.
And that's just not fair to anybody.
No.
For sure.
When you're a specialist, you get to charge more.
Right. And it's just, there's so much information there. I talked with somebody that's in Diamond right now this morning, and she was like, oh my God, I'm going through all of my stuff, and now I'm realizing I screwed so much stuff up, and now I know what the problem is. And she's like, and it's so nice to be able to go in and see what my problem is, know what my problem is, and know how to fix it. And she's like, and I wouldn't have known that otherwise. And I was like, yes.
Well, now I know so much more, because I always thought that you two were just running an agency, and I would always be like, man, what kind of services they're offering? Because Steph always has like these really intricate questions that she's asking. And now I know it's because you're building a training platform.
Well, here's the deal. We only work with coaches and consultants. And so we started with anybody that was a coach and a consultant. At least we narrowed that down. But then we realized if they don't know who their ideal client is and they don't know what their offer is and their offer is too low, I always say you're not ready to automate yet. You need to know these things. We want them to be making at least $10,000 a month, because if you can't sell, the software is not going to solve your problem.
Good point.
And so what happens is they join us, and then now they have to figure out their ideal client and who they're going to, all this, and then they drop us because they haven't made any money. And so now we're saying our ideal client is a six-figure coach or consultant that wants to automate their high ticket offer and just make their life a whole lot easier. That's our ideal client. And if we were going to talk about the do's and don'ts with HighLevel, don't try to sell everybody. It's a recipe for failure. Don't sell too low. I started low. I nearly killed myself, because you're trying to do everything. You can't do this tech support. You can't do the onboarding, the sales, the service, the everything, but you can't afford to hire people if you don't charge enough. So I know that everybody's freaking out. And I was at one point too. Oh, everybody's selling it for $39, all in and everything. I'm like, bless you, child, because I've been there.
And on top of that, like I can't even speak right now. The software is so valuable. Yeah. So valuable. And to sell it so low.
So where do you guys start when it comes to pricing?
Right now we're at 247. We're going up to 297. We give everything. We are internally debating on pricing and all that for the next level. We're still hard. Kid has so much, I don't know, she came from me, but yet she's got boundaries, like I was answering people's questions 11 o'clock at night, and they'll send me a thing, my funnel doesn't work. This question, my funnel doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which funnel?
Which
funnel?
It's not working.
And I would, and then they were, at the time I started at $79 a month, because again, there wasn't that much there, so I'm like asking these people to take a leap with me. And there were 17 of my founding sisters. I happened to have all women at that time. And I'm like, you're going to get it low and you're going to get my help, but we're going to grow this thing together. And it's exactly what, so I went from 79 to 99 to 119 to 129 to 199. Every time you would add something, I would just keep upping my price.
But not even, I want to disagree there a little bit, because it wasn't even them adding stuff, although it was. Yeah. Partially. But it was also us and you specifically learning more and more and more and more on how to effectively run the business, how to effectively help people more and more and more. So you became a better at the business while the software was getting better as well. So you were worth more.
So then we've been at 247 for quite a while, and we need to jump up again. And if we were doing the typical services, well, then you can bundle it and do all that. But have you ever read the Pumpkin Plan?
No.
Okay, so Michael Michalowicz, he writes awesome books, and you don't even need to, I don't want to say this out loud if he ever hears this, but his theory on the pumpkin plan, and we live in Wisconsin, so the state fair is big here. So if you want to have the blue ribbon pumpkin, there's a way to do that. You plant all your pumpkins and then you start watching them, and you look for the one that seems to be a little rounder, a little bigger. It's getting the sunshine, nothing's, and then you cut the vines to all the other little pumpkins. And so when people were saying, Melissa, come over here and we want you to do this, and I'm like, not my pumpkin. And then somebody else, we want you to be on this board, not my pumpkin. And so that's another do, is pick your pumpkin and stick with it until you're successful. Then you can grow another pumpkin. Then you can take on another niche. Then you can, do some of these things. But until you've got that core pumpkin, It's
And it's funny because we'll talk and I'll be like, pumpkin, pumpkin.
Yeah.
No, pumpkin.
I like it.
I love
Code
it.
word. Yeah,
Um,
that makes a lot of sense. And I think when you do, find your niche, you it becomes a lot easier to sell, in my opinion, because you
oh,
learn the industry, you know what it's worth, every, rebuttal that you're gonna get and the answer to it and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I never heard the pumpkin thing, but it makes sense because you probably, if you let the other ones grow, it steals resources away
all
from
the
the prized one, right?
nutrients, all the attention, everything goes to that one pumpkin. Yeah. And
Mm.
that visual changed everything for me because I'm one of those people that kind of knows how to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But that didn't help me. That didn't
No,
help.
totally.
Yeah.
No,
And
I'm with you. Like, just because we can do all sorts of things doesn't mean that we should.
we should. And
Oh,
so as
totally.
far as other services, other than teaching the software and working with the software, we don't do anything else. We will.
I do occasionally, like I do offer to like build projects out for somebody, for people a lot, and I'm always willing to do that. But it's not our number one. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And obviously it keeps you working in the software. So if you didn't do it, you would
Because we
lose.
didn't have the certification at the time, so I was the only one that like
It
we knew could do it right? So I don't know.
How do you guys run support for your SaaS clients?
Matt DeSeno's group.
Oh, nice. You
That was
leverage
another
the-
do that we wrote down.
Yeah, I
is-
have
Yeah, go through your dues stuff because you.
Yeah, so my dues for high level is talk to Kristen Rushman. I don't
Okay,
care.
there you go. That's a good
And
one.
I'm sure you'll support that. I don't care how you think you're doing email, talk to her.
We are getting incredible open rates and click-through rates, all because of what Kristen taught us.
Yeah, she's a wizard.
Yeah, on top of that, like collaborating with a lot of people like Beyond, Tom, Fur, Kristen, David Murillo, all of those people, like, and more, there's so many more. They're just so helpful. And so having a mindset of, I'm going to do it, I'm going to build this, you're limiting yourself in that sense. So reach out to these people that know better than you, because that's okay. And that's fine. And you need mentors, right? Get a pro account. That's another one. Melissa, I'm sure you could talk a little bit more on that, but that would be a big one.
Yeah, the SaaS program is a game changer, as you said, Chase. I mean, Sean, I would tell Sean what I was doing, and he's like, he was so, I mean, I didn't have the success. So I'm like, my self-esteem was rocky. And he would say things like, Melissa, oh my God, you could be perfect to get out on stage and do all these things and present this as a woman in tech and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, really? You think I could? And that helped build my confidence that he saw that what I was doing was something unique and different.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys know, you mentioned a lot of other folks who are amazing. Our community is so great, right? There's somebody in the community that can solve any problem for sure. How's that impacted your margins? Where is your margin at a $249 per month price point?
Yeah. At about
47,
40%, but
Nice.
that's because we keep everything else low. What you guys did, when I first saw the opportunity, I was like, oh, this has got to be a mistake. This can't be right. And I was like, I jumped all over it. And so I did the 2-week trial, and I said to Sean, can you maybe give me 3 weeks if I'm not good? And I went out and I sold it right away. I said, no problem. I don't need the 3 weeks. Because all you have to do is sell. Well,
Exactly.
so I was selling at 79. So I sold a few, but people were so hungry for this answer. And we didn't even have it then. We just had the promise of what was going to get built. I think sometime last year, I sent a big chocolate thanks to Sean and said, it was 2 years ago, you told me what you were going to build. And I just want to thank you because it's been more than I ever expected. Is it perfect? No, but it's always growing. And the thing,
it's better than not having it at all.
Well, and I rave to everybody about you guys because I'm like, where do you go where they actually listen to you? They actually listen to what we're asking for. Do you give us everything? No, because there's got to be enough people that need it, but you do listen. And we have, even when you've been aboard, Steph, you've had suggestions that they've taken you up on, and it's like, oh my God, I was able to impact.
And don't
cool?
worry,
Yeah,
I'll go bug them about it.
Yeah. No,
I'll go let them know.
it's always fun when you get to see the thing that you really pushed for come to fruition. But I think it reiterates our, why we sell to agencies, right? Because some of the competitor softwares out there that try to sell directly to businesses, and sure, they'll sell to an agency if they want, they get all the requests from both sides, and they're very different needs, right? Like a business owner is going to tell you, like, they always need it simpler, stupider, do it for me type of stuff. Whereas like agencies are like, no, we can do all that on our own. Like, we need this. And so those are the types of things that we try to hone in on and deliver things that.
And I'm glad you brought up
else-
support, because my last do is, and the biggest one is, use support, not the Facebook page, even though I'm guilty of it myself. Black, same thing, like, use support. And something I want to get tattooed on my forehead, quote me on this, is support is only as helpful as the information you give them. I will die on that hill.
That's a good
because
one.
the amount of people, including myself, again, I'm going to throw myself under the bus here, because at the beginning I didn't know anything either, and that's okay, is if you say my funnel's not working, it's going to take you twice as long to get an answer than this funnel, this page isn't working, here's a loom, here's what's happening, here's what I want to have happen, here's what, like, all of this information, then they're going to look at it and give you an answer. Whereas having to do the back and forth, which is sometimes needed, of course, but
Don't even get me started. You know how many responses I've sent out over the past 3 years that just say, well, what's the email so I can check?
yeah,
What's the tag? I don't know what the tag is. Well, who built it?
yeah. And so support is only as helpful and as valuable as the information that you give them. Like the 2 resources that Melissa is showing now that you can get on our certification.
And I can say, I actually built the one, but you built this one. It's Cultivating Sales Pro is our white labels. We call it CSP. Doesn't matter. It's still high level. She built a workflow guide. It's a book where she goes through every trigger and says, here's how you could use it. Here's an example. Here's a worksheet that you fill in. If this, I want this, this, and this to happen. Our clients went nuts when we sent this out. And then recently I developed this with your input, is a CS Pro or high level project planning sheet. So it's a sheet, and we also have an electronic version where you fill in what's the project name, launch date, deliverables, pricing, sales goal, where are you going to promote it? Do you need a form? Do you need a calendar? Do you need a pipeline? Yes, no. What's the name of the form? What's the name of the calendar? Because you know that naming is critical, because when you go to pull it all together, if you've named it some weird
Form 3.
Oh, yeah, Form 3. And then if you have somebody working on
workflow 59827,
by documenting all this and having it either in a file, or you can throw it up in a Dropbox with the electronic version, anybody can grab it, look at it and say, oh, okay, so here's all the forms, here's all the tags.
And it forces people to slow down. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make, is they are no, go. I need this answer. I need this out, blah, 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 which is true. Get it out is better than doing nothing. But I think a lot of people just need to slow down. And then that sheet like forces you, okay, what's this? And if you don't have all the pieces, you're not ready yet. And that's fine.
Yeah, as a builder, that's amazing. If somebody handed you that,
right,
you're ready to go, as opposed to going back and forth 10 times of like, yeah, but what about this? Have you thought of it? Does it need a form? Like, should I be tagging the people that come in? Because once they come in, it's going to be hard for me to go find them, without a tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Build a SMART list if you don't have it.
It's like I'm talking to myself. But on the other side of all of that is the don't list, right? Yeah. So don'ts that we have are getting discouraged from others and prices. I've noticed a lot of negativity on the Facebook group. There's a lot of comments out there that are really discouraging against newer people and people asking what could be stupid questions or obvious questions or stuff like that. And there's people that are mean, and I really disagree with that, because
People like that.
what would Sean do?
Yeah, that's our big. What would Sean do?
Well, clearly he would comment and ask more questions, right? But like, there's so many people that are in the same space that you were, and to, like, if someone had talked to you like that at the time, you probably would have quit. We probably would have quit. I sure as hell would have quit. I have no backbone. Like, what? So don't get discouraged from what other people say, or their prices, or how low they're going, or how amazing they're doing, or all of this, because you can only control you. And
Well, we all
be
start
nice
at
to other
square
people.
one. Every one of us starts at square one, where we're confused, we're not sure what to do, how are we going to do this? And yeah, you just have to let yourself be at square one.
And as two people that love to answer questions and love to help other people and other high levelers, because like I said, they've given us so much, we want to give that back. We're doing amazing. Like, we're doing great. And that's all because we helped other people, and then they in return have helped us.
I feel like a lot of the negativity comes from this fear that, like,
too many
the pie
people.
is very small, and you know, not all of us are going to get a piece of it, and so
the pie is huge.
right? I mean,
Pie's too big.
what would you say to somebody that's in that mindset?
Well, I've recruited a number of people into high level that are my direct competition. Mary Sue Dayhill, you know Mary Sue. So I brought her in. We're in the same networking group. We're, you know, and we help each other every day. She was asking me something last night, and I said, "Here's you need to talk to," and all that. We just don't worry about competition.
There's enough fish in the sea.
Oh my gosh, there's so much.
How many small businesses open every day? It's a never-ending field of
And how many entrepreneurs have more than one business? How many different like categories of businesses are out there? There's dentists, roofers, coaches, consultants, models, like so many that, like, take a deep breath. How many people can you even handle? Because if you're worried about these other people, like, one, do you even want them? Are they even your ideal client? And two, how many people can you even help? How much bandwidth do you even have to be worried about these other people, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And we're all in it together, aren't we?
I mean, even if your goals are extremely lofty, you could probably hit it just within your 100-mile radius. You know what I mean?
And somebody that may have a coach and consultant business as well as a dentist business may want to work with someone else for their dentist and work with us for their coaches and consultants.
I keep my eyes on who's doing what, because if I get a roofer and they want to do it, I don't want to work with roofers. I don't know their industry. I don't know their language.
We're just going to disappoint them.
Somebody just referred me to somebody. I mean, to me, that is the smartest way to do business. Not everybody, maybe.
Isn't it karma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I remember hearing Gary Vaynerchuk the first time talk about this, when he would say, you know, there's, if you feel like someone else succeeding is somehow taking money out of your pocket, like, you're completely lost in the woods.
You can both be successful.
Yeah, there's more than enough to go around.
Crazy how that happens.
So we're coming up on an hour, which is time flew by, but I do want to plug what you guys have put together. So for the people that are watching that are really interested in going through the academy, this training program, where should they head?
I'm going to give you the link. Of course, we built it in HighLevel. So you're going to be able to see all that, and then all the different levels. And we're running a thing. So if they decide to jump in before the second, we're going to mail them out these as well as the electronic version. They'll also get a 1 hour with me. They're going to get a lot of time with Stephanie, but I'm different. I'm the person that, like, grows the business. She's the brains. I always say she's the brains behind it. So you get both, but you'll get an hour with me to go through things.
She's going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you talked about the marketplace. Yeah. So the marketplace, again, not everybody has to use it. Some people are good at workflows, and they're horrible at design. They're going to say, I'm great at workflows.
Or there's some people that only want to work with like the same clients, and there's some people that just want to work on different projects, and that's okay too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what is the URL? highlevel.cultivatingsales.com/certifications.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'll be
Yeah.
sure to get that in the post copy and all of that kind of stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I would like to show people real quick before we go? Can you open up your Cultivating Sales site?
Yeah.
I think your profile pictures are awesome. And-
Oh, you mean our actual?
on the actual site?
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
When I was checking that out, getting ready for the interview, I was like, this is so great. There's so much personality there, but I feel like nobody, like 99% of people would be too afraid to put
And this is
such fun
duct-
pictures
this
on their
duct
site.
tape, this
Yeah,
gets,
that's funny.
because they go, that's me, and I love it. So about us,
This is all
Yeah.
built in the website builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this and I was like, oh, that is so awesome. You know who you guys are before you even reach out. So I thought
and
that
that's
was just
us. I mean, we are. It's that old "I am what I am," and
I'm proud of who I am.
yeah.
no,
both
but like
are.
I think that is actually such a smart strategy, but most people are
Thank you.
probably too afraid to do something like that. So I wanted to point it out because I thought it was really great.
Well, I think we've learned that, and who is it? I was just reading it today. There's like 5 questions. Are they looking for help? Do you guys get along and everything's good? Do they communicate well? Are they able to pay for it? All these questions of, yeah, we always go, are they between 50, the ideal client, are they between 55 and 60? Are they female? Are they? No, I want to know, can we work with them? Do we all like each other? Because I can honestly say, and I know Steph can too, we love our clients. There's so
They're
much
great.
they're doing, like all of them are, not all of them, there's a lot of them that are authors. We picked up a gal just recently, Melissa Hughes. She did a TikTok and all she was saying is to her kids, mommy loves you when, and then she goes through, she got a book deal out of it. She got a hold of me and she's like, I need to now build like a landing page and all that. And so Steph was helping her build it all. She launched her book.
By herself, I will say.
She did a
by
lot of it
herself.
herself, and she's got 2
That's
little
awesome.
kids.
And she was
she
moving
able to-
that week.
Wow,
Yeah, she
very
was
cool.
moving at the time, and we were just so proud of her. And we've got all that. We've got another gal, Susan Trumpler. Her book is "Oh shit, I'm in sales." So we just have the best time promoting our clients and helping them, and
that's why we wanted to
the
make-
other stuff.
That's exactly why we wanted to make, like I said, the need was there, and why we wanted to make it is to help our clients be more successful, and also other high level clients be more successful by getting the help that they need. And so in a nutshell, that's the certification, is to teach you everything you need to know to be able to build something in the system, whatever that is to you. That's going to differ obviously, but like if you know nothing, if you know something, and if you know a lot, it's always going to teach you something. And that's something that I'm very excited for. And I'm very excited to see what people learn from it and what they take away from it and what feedback I get to improve on as well.
Nice. Well,
The other thing that we've
congrats.
been talking about, Chase, just to get this in real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
After she recorded all the new videos and everything, I said, oh, I probably should have had you, and you know this, I probably should have had you do it white label.
Good luck, because
Yeah. Well, she committed to probably, because we foresee there's going to be people that say, hey, listen, I just want to buy it and give it to all my people, whatever.
yeah, for sure.
And so know that if there's an interest in that, and we of course have our chat widget on the funnel.
Yeah, give us ideas.
The other thing is, if you are somebody that I brought into HighLevel, we have a discounted package for that. And if you are not in HighLevel yet, but you're watching this and you sign up with us, we're going to give you the discounted price for that too. So I want to reward those people that have
Sure, yeah.
taken the leap. And
Again, collaboration helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congrats so much on the SaaS success. Congrats on the new certification program. Best of luck. It sounds like you guys are going to smash it and help a ton of high levelers along the way. So thank you for that.
Hopefully making everything less of a headache for you guys, right?
For sure. Yes, exactly. We love folks like you in the community that go teach other folks how to find success. So thanks for
Well,
the
that's
good work.
also what's so cool about you guys is, I mean, Tom Bristol, Matt DeSeno, I'm not working with him.
Sergio, the list goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Sergio's awesome. Matter of fact, Sergio's going to teach her how to do APIs. We really don't have any technical skills other than the software.
I don't know CSS.
I don't know CSS. But there's people that do. So then we hire them. Like if I need help, I hire Sergio for something. I
don't wait, because otherwise she's spending those hours not selling, or I'm spending those hours not helping people.
working with
Pumpkin.
Yes.
I'm gonna run with that one.
For sure. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks everybody for watching. We will see you in the next one.